Let's start by implementing it. Firstly, let's create a file, array example.java. So VS Code has created a class for me. That's good. So let's create a main method. So let's see an example. Let's see we have 5 students and we need to store marks of each of them. So how do we do? So generally we just create a variable for each student and store marks in it. Let me duplicate for 5 students and rename it as required. Yeah, this is how we do for the 5 students. Now let's consider another example where we have 5000 students. So in that case we need to create 5000 variables, which is a difficult task as well as difficult to maintain. So to solve these problems, arrays comes into picture. So arrays are the linear data structures where values or elements are stored in continuous or adjacent memory locations. Let's see how array looks like. This is how array looks like. So each value or item here is called an element, and location of each element is called an index. Indexes are generally represented by a whole number starting from 0. Now let's see declaration and initializing of arrays. So we start usually with data type and followed by a variable name as usual, but we just add or append like square brackets to it and semicolon at the end. So this is how we declare arrays in Java. In Java, memory for array is allocated on heap, but in Java we know that heap is the memory used for creation or storing of an object, but we haven't created any object while declaring an array. So let's do it now. Let's see how do we do that. Int student so array. So let me comment on this one. So this is the declaration of an array. So now equals to, we use a new operator while creating an object. So same, we use new here as well, and followed by same data type again with the square brackets and semicolon at the end, but it's showing an error. In Java we need to pass size as a parameter as shown here. So now we have created array of size 10. So here we can store 10 elements in an array. Next see how we initialize an array. So to initialize an array we have different methods. Firstly, let's see the easiest way. So easiest way could be, so let me comment on this and let me create an array again, and we can do equals to, instead of declaring a size here, we can directly assign values to it. Let's put curly braces here and put marks. So this is how we can assign values to an array. So this is one of the method. So we have different methods, but this is one of the easiest method that we can do in the Java. So we have declared and assigned variables to an array. Let's see how to access elements from an array. So for that we use indexes to access the elements. Let's see how do we do that. To access an like first element from an array, so we generally use student variable name and square brackets, and we pass an index. So 99 is in the 0th index, so I have passed 0. Let's test this. So for testing, I'm writing a print statement. Yeah, and let me test it. Let me run the file. Yeah, you can see a 99 here. Let me duplicate it and pass some 5. Now let's see the output. Now able to see output 66. So this is how we access the elements from an array. But let's assume we need to access each elements one by one or dynamically. For that we use for loop. So let's create that and see like how do we do that. So for int I equals to 0, and here we have I less than, let's see how many variables we have created, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I less than 8, I plus plus. So let's write print statement here, and then same student name, and let's pass I. So I will be incremented for each iteration and it will be printed out. Let's see how the output. So you can see the output here. So it shows, let me comment on this, there are duplicates I guess. Now let me run it again. So now you can see 99 10 11 88, all the elements of an array. So this is how we dynamically access the elements using for loop. Now let's see if you want to modify an element in an array. So how do we do that? So it's very simple, just use the variable and use the index, like which one we need to modify it. So I'm considering 2, so which is 11, so I make it as 999. So let's save it. So to test it, so what we do generally, I'm writing a print statement student and 2. So we are accessing the second index. So let me run it. So you can see 999 here. This is how we update an value. Now let's print all the values again. Let me comment on this statement. So this is before update and this is after update. So we have an 99 10 and 999. So array is updated now. This is all fine, but how do we take an input from an user? So for that, let me clear everything from the screen. So to take an input from the user, it is similar to what we do for the variables, but we just use a for loop in addition to that. Let's see how do we do that. Scanner sc equals to new scanner and system.in. Yeah, have created a scanner. So to generally read a variable, we do int val equals to sc dot next int, and let me print it. Let me clear the console. Java .NET. So it's asking for the prompt. Let me enter 99. So 99 is printed here. So let's see how do we do for an array. So for that, let's create an array first. So let me clear this. So I'm creating an array of values of size 10. I've created an array, and let's start the for loop. I equals to 0, I less than 9. So we can do I less than 10, or we have a functions on array. So we use values dot length, so which will provide us the length of an array. So we can use I plus plus here. Created a loop now. So what we do is to update values, we do of I equals to sc dot next int. So we are now updating each I value for each iteration with the user input. Let's close the scanner. Yeah, let's run it. So it's asking for the prompt 99 1 11 22 33 44 55 66 88 99. So we have provided an array, but we haven't written a print statement to test this. Let's write it now. For int j equals to 0, j less than, we use values dot length and j plus plus. So let me out and values of j, sorry, j. Let me run it again. So let me add values. Let's see what happened. Let me increase the screen. Yeah, it got printed here. So we entered values here and it got printed here. So we have to, let me add something to differentiate it here. Yeah, let me do it again. So you can see the input values here. This is how we take input from an user. So let's see general operations on array. Let me create an array. These are general operations. Let's see some operations, common operations that we do on arrays. First one, let's start with insert. So insert, it's something, let me create an array. Of size 10. So firstly, let me see what are the values present in array sample. So let me write a for loop. We can use for loop or for each depending upon use case. So currently I'm going with the generally for loop and I plus plus and s out array dot length of I. Yeah, so this I see an error here. Yeah, I forgot to declare in size. Still I see an error. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I need to declare I less than. Yeah, fine. Let me run the program and see what will be the output. So the default values are 0. As we know, print, it will be a default value 0. Let me try to insert a value now. So for that we can use index and we can use value as 11, and this is, let me duplicate it 5 times. Yeah, 5 are enough for testing. Let me make it as 5. Let me run it again. So let me change the values as well before running. Yeah, so let me run the program. So it shows, oh, sorry, I haven't saved it. Okay, let me run it again. Yeah, you can see 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, this is how we insert a value into an array. So let's see how do we update. So to update, so firstly let's print this. Let me duplicate the for loop again and write an update here so that we can see updated value here. To differentiate between the output, I'm just adding an update here. Let me add some space. Yeah, to update, let's see, we need to update second index. So to do that, we just do array sample of 2 and we override the value as 99. Let's see if it is got updated or not. Java, yeah, we can see the updated value here. So this is how we do an update. So how do we search an variable int, so if it is present or not? So to do that, so currently we have this. Let me comment on the update thing. So to search that, let's see, we need to search for 14. So let's see if 14 is present in the array or not. For that, generally we use the same for loop. And we just write an if condition to check if it is there or not. What we do is array sample dot I equals to we are searching for, we have only double equals to here, so 14, and if 14 is present, we write system found at, we just print index, and if found, let's break the first statement. We don't have to iterate it further, so let's run it. We don't need a print statement here, and let me comment on this as well, and let's run the program. So found at index 3, let's see 0 1 2 3, so our output is right. So this is how we perform the search operations. This is just a basic search. We'll see complex search operations in next videos. In Java, we have two types of arrays, one-dimensional and multi-dimensional arrays. So let's see what is one-dimensional array. So one-dimensional arrays are also known as linear arrays. This is the simplest type of arrays. They store the list of items in a single row or column. Each item in an array has a unique index which is used to access it. So let's create an array. So grades equals to, let me add the variables directly here. So this is one example of a one-dimensional array. Let's see what is multi-dimensional array. So multi-dimensional arrays are the used to store items in multiple directions. For example, two-dimensional array could be representation of a table which has each row and column representing a different dimensions. Multiple arrays can have number of dimensions, but most commonly we use 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional arrays. Now let's create multi-dimensional arrays. Int salary, and we add one more square bracket here to represent its multi-dimension. So let's add a data in it. So salary 10 20 30. So this is one-dimension array. We need to add one more dimension to it. To do that, let me cut it and let me create an array and paste this one. So this is how we create an array. Semicolon is missing, and we can copy the same thing multiple times to make it multi-dimensional. Yeah, this is how, like, how do we access the variables in dimension array? It is same, but we use an additional for loop inside a for loop. So let's see how do we do that. For that, let me create a variable loop first. Length I plus plus. So this is one for loop. So let me change some variables, 11 22 33 and 13 15 25 and 35. So let me create one more for loop inside it. Int j equals to 0. Here j is less than salary of ith element, so this is inside it, so we need to put I here and we need to put a length here. Now j plus plus, sorry, j plus plus. Yeah, so now let me write a system.println. Let me print it into single line. For that, salary I, we need to add one more square bracket and j. So let me run the program now. Let me see. Yeah, let me add it a new line, it's better. Yeah, now you can see 10 20 30 11 12 22 33. Yeah, we can able to see that this is how we use multiple for loops to access multi-dimensional arrays. That's it about the arrays. Let's practice some problems in the upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Thank you.